on the money every single time. There is no margin for error.
Did
I'm
that
glad that's all in your hands.
did that kind of kill it out? Like maybe I think it sounded like it killed it out like a second too soon.
Just a little bit.
It might have. I keep telling myself I'm going to come back in and add like 3 or 4 more extra seconds of black. That way we're good before we go live. So I maybe I missed it. Maybe this was the
Quit
one.
snickering.
Oh,
Or just snickering. Quit snickering.
All right, here we are. 8-bit Atomic Geeks.
Double
Number 8.
dragon.
And then some, because at this point I feel it's worth to cover our tangents in the title. So Double Dragon and then some.
It should just be whatever we're going to do and tangents.
Yeah, I'll do that for the next week's. wherever we land or end up. So yeah, here we are, number 8. Welcome back. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment.
Glad we got that out of the way at the start. We're horrible at that.
Hey, we're 2 for 2
This is true.
knocking that out at the start. So that's a good
Very
start.
true.
It's a good start.
It is a good start.
Yeah, here we are. Your usual cast of characters: Tactical, Voice, and Lazy.
So piece of
bring you
cake.
Double Dragon. So, since you've already busted them all out, and oddly enough, I don't own any Double Dragon games. As classic as they are, they've always been rentals for me. I have never. I don't own one. I've never actually added one to my collection.
Am I the only one?
You might be. I don't know. Lazy, do you have any?
We did when I was little.
Dead doesn't count.
I don't really know where they're at.
Which I'll have a small tangent myself on that whole dead thing. I'm a little on the pissed side, so
Better being pissed on.
This is true.
Yeah, because I was that close to a horse's wiener. I'd be more worried about getting pissed on than pissed off.
Yeah, there's our first tangent. We'll be doing doing some coverage of Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah, at some
in a
point.
future episode.
Sorry, but that one was too easy a setup.
Well, let's throw out another movie quote. Excuse me while I whip this out. There we go.
Vintage, original.
Double Dragon.
NES. We have Game Boy and Super Nintendo.
I remember the sound being wonky on the Game Boy version.
Super Double Dragon. It was a little off, but it wasn't bad for Game Boy.
It's a Game Boy.
No, I mean, of course it wasn't bad for Game Boy, but it was still wonky.
I mean, it had like half the bleeps and bloops that the NES did, so it couldn't bleep and bloop as much as the bloop in the NES.
But
I more or less remember like whenever you'd be beating somebody's hind end and they'd go like on the NES, you get like the and then but like on the Game Boy it's like wow.
I don't recall that part actually. It was like a cougar. Is that what that was?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, did you kick the cougar out of him?
It was just
Keep him in the cougar.
Yeah, those hookers that would come out and you beat their hind ends, you kick the cougar out of them.
That's just terrible. Absolutely terrible.
The Double Dragon hookers.
Yep.
Purple haired whip wielding hookers.
Yeah. Need to pick them up and show them this is how you use a whip.
Take that, Linda. Because that was the character's name. Linda,
I was going to say, I'm sure you know her name, and I was actually going to question now. I mean, were we just like, did we just assume that they were hookers and women? Because the graphics at the time, I mean, they could have just been a funky haired.
80s.
I do recall the Lindas on the arcade looking a lot different than the ones on the NES. The NES ones looked like they had a horrible purple perm.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they looked like they were in a giant spandex bodysuit.
That
I
too.
just,
It was also purple.
Yeah, which was
yeah, it's
also
just
purple.
this purple whip wielding hooker. I
A
don't
matter of
know.
fact, everything about her was purple. The whip, the hair, the bodysuit, all purple.
What about the skin?
Well, except for the skin. The skin wasn't
So, in
purple.
other words,
Well,
you were basically beating up Barney.
That would be
and I
nice.
and I comment about the skin because it's funny to me how, and I didn't really pick up on it in the first NES one, but the first one started off as kind of this basic normal street brawler, and then I felt like it started getting really out there, with
Well, I
later
mean,
ones. Like, what world are we living in? Did society collapse? And now, I mean, it gets really out there as the franchise goes on. I mean, even the second one, it's just kind of like, is this post-apocalyptic? And you know what I mean? Like
Mad Max,
Mad Max almost.
Double Dragon Max.
I don't know that I ever put those two together, quite honestly. I was just like, ooh, Double Dragon. Um, First experience I had with Double Dragon was the arcade, and it was
Okay,
actually at the local grocery store. So the
Yep,
Piggly
they had
Wiggly
that was
one.
mine. That was mine
had
too.
Double Dragon
Was
at one
I
the
point.
must have
arcade.
Yeah,
missed that. I must have just missed that. Of course, I mean, you got a few years on me, not many, but a few.
yeah.
So I
It was
must have
pretty
missed that.
hopping. It
Yeah.
was it was pretty hopping. There was always somebody on it, and I think Double Dragon is pretty much heralded as
Wiggly
like
Wiggly.
the big granddaddy beat 'em up game, and it kind of shot the whole genre
Oh
to the
yeah.
stratosphere. So
I mean,
And you had
of
bad
all of our
dudes.
discussion of Ninja Turtles in prior episodes,
right,
yeah, Double Dragon kind of ushered that in. So
the arcade side-scrolling beat 'em up game.
Well, you had bad dudes too, which was right there. I mean, it fell right in behind Double Dragon. So you had
I'm bad.
and that was the funny part because the voice, like the sounds on the NES for that one were terrible. But if you actually saw that one on the arcade, it wasn't any better.
Not really. No.
at least there's a noticeable difference between Double Dragon Arcade and Double Dragon NES.
There is a huge noticeable difference. I actually remember when it first came out on the NES. I wanted it. I mean, it's Double Dragon. Who wouldn't have wanted it at that time frame? And I remember I was able to get it when we were at the mall in Knoxville, East Town Mall. God rest its heart. God rest its soul.
It's a
They
parking
had
lot now.
them there in one of the local toy stores for sale, and I was able to get it then. Mom got it for me from East Town Mall, and I've pretty much had it ever since. So yeah, this came from East Town Mall, like everyone else out there
Ours
knows
came
what that
from.
is.
We got ours from KB's Toys.
But I do remember popping it in when I got it home, and it looked nothing like the arcade I remembered playing at the grocery store. And I was a little disappointed, but it was still a
Like,
good game. And
what is this? Why
yeah,
why is this like this?
this
This
don't look
world
right.
feels shallow and hollow.
What is that? Why? um, and the thing though, I don't know what the reasoning on it was, but I know a lot of the things that they did with it, of course, had to do with uh, limitations on the system, limitations on what it's capable of,
Right.
and that's the reason why they didn't have a two-player version uh, where you were both on the screen at the same time. It had its limitations. They had a two-player option in the NES, but you took turns,
Mm-hmm.
or you could do a fighting game where you could fight each other at the same time. But
Which hilarity would ensue with that because
it would.
there were times that things didn't connect exactly the way that you expected them to.
No.
No, not at all.
I'm going to do this spinning cyclone kick.
It was just but I think the one thing I don't like about this one What I hated about this one is in the arcade, and then every one released after this one on NES, all your move set was open. It was free. You could do all the moves, but this one had an leveling up experience point system built into it, where in order to get something more than a punch and a kick, you had to build up 900 or 990, like 1,000 points to get your next move unlocked. And it would be like a spinning kick. And then you had to do another 1,000 points to get your next move unlocked, and that was your jump kick. And then another 1,000 points for a headbutt, and then it was just
The uppercut.
yeah. I wasn't
The
too
super
thrilled about that.
I
uppercut.
don't know that I ever caught that.
Yeah, it's
But admittedly, that one, I mean, it pretty well kicked my ass a good bit.
it's quite.
I never made it very
tolerable.
far in that one.
Well, I just got through
We
trying
beat
it
it.
for the first time in forever. I remember I have beaten it when I played it regularly, but I remember I just tried it for the first time and got my butt handed to me in the third mission.
Third, I think, was roughly about where I usually would fall apart.
Yeah,
I think on my best day, I could make it on into 4. But typically, third is when I would kind of fall apart.
because that third mission was the longest. I mean, it was terrible,
Horrible.
absolutely terrible.
El Terrible.
Terrible.
But yeah. No, I do. Like I said, I don't know. I just I seem to remember it. Just yeah, you had this basic fighting. The world seemed normal, and then like 2 seemed really, I don't know, not full on Mad Max-ish, I guess, but it was definitely like some shit has hit the fan on Earth because there's some crazy stuff.
I could actually, I do remember the dude with like the mohawk, and it had like this
Yeah.
cross spiked vest thing. I don't know what you would call
Well,
it.
and like if you get on into, if you look at the movie, that was set in a post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
world.
We just spoke of the unspeakable.
I know, but
You
look,
did.
that is not going to be worth a whole episode.
You did.
I would not. I would. So I'm going to bundle that one in with this. We'll talk about the good, and we'll take our lumps too. But I mean seriously, and I guess that's where I always later on, thought, well, maybe they at least had some form of paid a little bit of attention because you had some of that post-apocalyptic kind of crazy world in some of the later games, and then the movie was pretty something. Poor Robert Patrick.
I don't want to call the movie bad because then that's calling bad.
I mean, it made it. It made it over 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Bad is better than the Double Dragon movie. Horrible is better than the Double Dragon movie. Absolutely god awful, stank ass, terrible is better than that Double Dragon movie.
That was rough.
It was horrid.
That was
Man
rough.
alive.
It wasn't even like you can find it for free on YouTube, and it wasn't even worth trying to rewatch that for this episode. I was
no, I'm not wasting the bandwidth.
I want to go off of memory on that. Again, poor Robert Patrick. But yeah, that's where I always kind of attributed, kind of connected the two together as to why the world was kind of like that, in the game and all that. But I feel like Super Double Dragon kind of reeled it back in.
It did.
Because that world did not feel crazy or, it just seemed, more back to the roots, Here's this nice street brawler.
I think Super Double Dragon was well done as far as the gameplay is concerned, move set, what you could do and pull off. I mean, I remember the first time I caught someone's arm and did the kicks, and he flung that leg over that person's arm and just went tack, 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 with his foot, kicking him back and forth in the face. And then whack, sending flying. I was like, dude, that's awesome. This had a fantastic moveset in it. But the problem with it is it had zero story element.
Yeah.
It was just, hey, go beat these guys up. You started and you just started beating up people. There was no
What's wrong with that?
Well, that was, I mean, when somebody just has enough.
Well, yeah, I know.
I mean,
Like,
tomorrow could be the day I wake up and
beat
be
them
like,
with it.
you know
I
what?
may not quit.
I'm just gonna start fighting, and I'm just gonna see where this takes me.
Super
I mean,
Double Dragon was they woke up and chose violence. That's exactly they woke up. And
I will say that's the one I've made it the furthest in. I have made it to the final level of that one, and then that stupid final level just didn't seem like it would end because I'm like, I'm right here. I'm right here.
On forever.
Gosh, no kidding.
The last level on this, especially at the very end, when you're there in the final room and you got that door in the back, it just kept opening and enemies just kept coming out of it, kept coming out of it, kept coming out of it.
Yeah.
Like, God Almighty. It'll never
that's
end.
what happens when you wake up one morning and choose violence.
Yep.
Right? They just might choose violence back.
Well, I would hope somebody would. I mean, you literally beat your way. You beat Hind Den all plumb across the town.
I mean, you start off in the alley on the street. You go through Vegas. You fight in the back of a semi.
Mm-hmm. You fight through the airport. You fight through Chinatown. It's going to come to a head eventually. You're like, you know what? We're fed up. We're not going to take it anymore. Throw everything at him.
I mean, I don't know. I guess there was something loosely about kidnapping the girlfriend.
That is primarily what each one of these has as the element.
I guess that's the main motivation.
That was even like the whole, like for bad dudes, that was the same thing. It was like
bad dudes, they stole the president. Ninjas kidnapped the president. And it was, at the time, it was President Ronnie.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew who it was, right? But they said President Ronnie has been kidnapped.
They covered it.
They did.
But we knew.
We knew who exactly.
Somebody was getting kidnapped. And so
it is a common thing in the 80s, kidnappings everywhere. I mean, it's kind of like, how we all thought quicksand was going to be a big deal. And I don't know. I've yet to find it.
I haven't found any.
It's not been too big of a concern in my adult life.
Not even in Florida. I haven't found any in Florida either. But I'm not exactly traversing swamps in Florida. I know better.
Yeah, I stay away from the Everglades. They've got like pythons and stuff down there now. So
and gators.
I'm as long as you kind of stay away from the water, you're fine with the gators.
What about the pythons?
Them dudes hang out in trees. They jump out the tree on your head.
Okay, so what we've learned about Florida is don't go near the trees, don't go near the swamps.
I don't even know that I'd get in the ocean. I mean, it's kind of like the Australia of the U.S. There's a lot of stuff down there
that wants to kill and eat you.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not quite as violently as Australia, but
no. Well, see, that's the thing is that inland, Australia is pretty terrible in the sense that they have, you got funnel web, you've got, funnel web spider, brown snake,
trouser snake,
sneaky snake,
trouser snake, sneaky snake. Yeah, I mean, like, and these, and then you get in the ocean, and you've got you can possibly run into a saltwater croc. You can run into box jelly.
Yeah,
a cone snail.
A box of jelly.
Yeah, box of jelly.
Handy if you have some peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you want that kind of jelly.
Anyway,
I don't think you'd be ready for that jelly.
Not the jelly you want. This is not the jelly you're looking for.
No. But
Not the jelly
yeah,
you're looking
so
for. But no, I can tell you the first one was about her being kidnapped.
Right.
Right. So they kidnapped her in the first one. The arcade, I remember the first time I seen the arcade for Double Dragon 2 was actually in Roses in a town a little bit down the interstate from us, towards the north. But it was in a Roses, and I was like, "Oh, Double Dragon 2," and it had the same scene that you're familiar with Double Dragon 1. They're all standing outside a garage, and the girlfriend Marion, as her name, is standing there, and you have all the bad guys standing there. I'm like, okay, they're gonna go up to her and hit her again. They shot her dead right in the middle of the street. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
All that effort
Yeah.
in the first game, and that's where he ended up.
And then they just shoot her dead at the start of the second one. So off we go.
seems like that getting up and choosing violence might have just been, more or less depression at that point. She got kidnapped,
Kidnapped
she
my
got
girl,
shot,
her up. I'm just going to get up every day and beat people.
I'm just gonna get up and just
Until
go.
I'm done.
Just walk into town and start kicking and punching people.
Violence isn't the answer unless it's the answer violence.
I mean,
Violence
maybe somebody
isn't the
questioned
answer.
them and they answered with violence. And then it just answered with more violence, and the answer became unanswered.
Right.
And it's just this cycle. Nobody really knows anymore. And it's just, hey, let's just start fighting. See where we go.
It's an endless circle.
Random acts of violence.
So now for I do think overall, and maybe because it's that shinier presentation and package, I do prefer Super Double Dragon, I guess.
Graphically, it is a lot more pleasing. But I mean, it was on the Super Nintendo.
But it also has Super in the name.
It does have Super in the name. Well, I mean, most games on the Super Nintendo had Super in the name.
In case you forgot, you were playing it on a Super
Nintendo.
Super C.
Yeah.
Super Mario.
Well, now wait a minute. Super C was
NES, and Super Mario was NES.
See?
Oh, shut up.
But everything else was Super for the Super,
like
because
Super,
it's Super
Star Wars. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
NES, it was just Star Wars. Super Nintendo was Super Star Wars.
And Super Empire Strikes Back.
Super
Return of the Jedi.
They actually just called it Castlevania 4. They didn't say Super.
Even though it was a remake of 1.
Right? Go figure.
Yeah.
But it had better graphics.
Let's see. Let's see if we can take a look at the plot here. Hold on a second.
The actual plot?
The actual plot. Because, I mean, most of this is just coming from memory, and let's face it, they weren't exactly storytelling platforms back in the day when you're doing a beat 'em up game.
I was going to say the whole purpose of the thing was just to go through and start whooping people.
Right, but why? Why are we whooping up on these people? It's not necessarily just because I got up and chose violence.
You remember at that age, we didn't need a reason. We just knew they were bad guys.
I mean, look at most of the guys you beat up in the game. They're very clearly bad guys.
Yes,
I'm bad. What about the bad dudes? They're called bad dudes. Does that make them bad guys? They saved the president, for Christ's sake. Yeah, I got you thinking on that one, didn't I? Now you're sitting there, your wheels are turning, your head is hurting, and your brain is spinning.
Stop that.
The Double Dragon movie came out November 4th.
Talking about bad. Oh, God, what is it? Oh, no. That's just wrong.
You know, I'm going to just go out on a limb here and just say that I was actually entertained by that movie.
They don't make it right.
Well, nothing ever said. I didn't say anything about being right. I said I was entertained by that movie.
Horrible.
But then again, I mean, I was
You are easily
also,
entertained.
well, I was watching. I mean, you got to remember, I was watching B movies, like, or C, even D movies in some cases.
Like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes actually was the first thing that came to my mind. That movie was, oh boy, was that one rough. But I was entertained.
Yeah, but I mean, here the story elements for it, though, it's pretty straightforward and simple.
Toxic Avenger.
The Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, there you go.
Was there a Toxic Crusaders?
Yeah. There's Toxic Crusaders.
I remember all those on the Fox network.
Yeah, and it probably wouldn't been a good idea as a child to get those confused because one was for kids and one was not.
I was going to say, one was not.
One was very much not for kids.
Knox the Fox.
Well, there we go again. We're back to Fox, where we managed to catch. That's where we caught most of our childhood.
Yeah. I mean, it was the only thing really playing anything worth a shit for someone.
Oh, hell, we had 4 channels. 5 if you counted PBS.
Well, PBS, you throw it on there to watch Bob Ross and then turn it back off. So
yeah,
technically you would have 6 because there was 2 PBS channels. There was 2 and 15.
I do remember that 2 and 15, but they showed the same thing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And you still went back and forth between the two
on 2 different channels.
as if you hope that maybe be different this time.
Yeah, no. It's not like it had an east-west schedule on it. But anyway,
that's what throws me off about Hulu.
The east-west schedule.
You have the east and west version of a channel, and I'm just like, can you not detect by my IP that I am not west? And
dude, I love the east-west versions because here's the thing: you catch something good on the east channel, 3 hours later, you watch it again on the west channel.
Yeah, that's what I liked doing with back many moons ago when I had DirecTV. We would watch
Direct DVD.
Direct DVD. No, DirecTV. We would watch Disney Channel. So we'd watch the East and the West Disney Channel. So we would watch, their primetime shows and then turn around and just basically restart them. Just flip the channel and restart it all over again.
There you go.
Yeah.
But the first one, it was all about saving the girlfriend. The second one, the sequel, involves Billy and Jimmy Lee in a mission to avenge Billy's girlfriend, Marianne, after she is shot to death by the Black Warriors leader, Wiley, who is retaliating against the Lee brothers after his defeat at the end of the previous game.
If it was so big a deal and all that, why didn't he just get a gun and shoot the guys in the first one?
As they came out of because they would always come out of a garage.
They left a body trail 100 miles long. He had time to go do a background check, buy a gun, and when they got there, just shoot them.
It's like, we've thrown everything at these guys, and they have beat the crap out of everybody.
Chuck Bobo off a conveyor belt.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
Which one?
Why did it take the second game to shoot? And then they just shot the girlfriend.
Karnov was fought in Bad Dudes.
In Bad Dudes, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because that was done by the same company.
Data East?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking.
You shoot the girlfriend, and then you just wait for them to stroll up, ready for their stupid little street fight, and then you shoot them. Whatever.
For the third one, after returning home from a 2-year training mission, Billy and Jimmy Lee come across a fortune teller named Haruko. The woman tells the Lee brothers that in order to challenge the world's strongest adversary, they must seek out the 3 Rosetta Stones that have been scattered around the world. The game begins in the United States, where the Lee brothers must face the remnants of the Black Warriors gang from the previous games, before they set off to find the stones. Afterward, the heroes must travel to China, Japan, Italy, and finally Egypt, where each of the stones are being guarded by formidable fighters unique to each country, such as the shinobi in Japan and archers in Italy, who will refuse to give them up without a fight. Once all three stones have been procured, the brothers' journey reaches its final destination in Egypt, where they face all sorts of supernatural creatures as they enter Cleopatra's tomb to uncover the mystery surrounding the stones. That's where it
So,
really got crazy.
look, so yeah, it got
Cleopatra
crazy, but
tomb?
again, just a couple of guys that are they're just assholes.
They chose violence.
Hey, let's beat these people up for these stones to summon up the big bad and beat his ass to
Well,
prove ourselves. Like, they're just assholes. The whole series is a bunch of assholes.
I do recall it ended up this fortune teller woman, Ruko, ended up being the main baddie because she basically just used them to collect the stones to use for herself.
Okay.
And
So she's an asshole.
yeah, and in the NES version, you
How
end
many
up
assholes are in this game?
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Surrounded by-
The NES version, I remember you fight Cleopatra, and then when you beat her, it turns out that she was Marion.
So wait a minute.
Don't do it.
No questions.
Don't do it.
That makes no sense.
Well, I didn't say it did.
It's like they were making shit up as they went.
Right.
Well, you know what would be really cool? Let's make it this guy's girlfriend that got shot dead after they went on an ass beating tirade
Frenzy.
across literally the known world, and even beat up some like supernatural beings and beasts just to have her come back so they can beat her up.
Right. And so here's the thing, though. I think that
I
was
think
just
there
an
should have been a
NES
sandwich
thing.
made, and it didn't get made, and that's what happened.
That's what happened.
That's how you get an asshole.
They got in an argument because the sandwich didn't get made, and then that caused Marion to get kidnapped
And then get shot. And then
get shot later.
And then come back as
and then come back and
Cleopatra.
get beat up by the guys that didn't
Maybe-
get the sandwich made.
Maybe they just needed to get the sandwich. I mean, moral of the story is if you want a sandwich, make the sandwich. Otherwise, violence is going to happen.
Exactly.
No,
You got nothing.
I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna let that lie there.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing. The thing though is, I think that twist was just an NES thing because Nintendo had this thing about killing. Even though all through the game you're beating up people and killing them off, but no one truly ever dies, I guess, in Nintendo games.
I'm just wondering if it was more like they were just, cracked out on meth or something, and that's why the people would actually disappear after they beat them up.
There was,
So you
never,
just had,
there was never anyone actually there.
Yeah, there was never anybody. Just people just saw
So it's just a bunch of assholes,
stuff,
two assholes walking down the street, air fighting,
punching and kicking everything, and
Taking a hit
occasionally hitting each other in the
occasionally.
back of the head.
People are looking at them like they're just out of their mind.
Double Dragon, the story of meth.
That's probably what it was. Like,
Maybe
hey,
Double Dragon is the code for meth.
Double Dragon.
That's a particular formula for the meth they were on.
That makes sense. But even in the NES version, it says she was killed. Sacred Stones.
Here you go again.
Now the third one only had it had extra characters, right?
It did.
Yeah, I do remember other playable.
In the third one, you could actually go through and you basically got like extra lives that way. The third Double Dragon, you really had just one life, which was what made it so god awful hard. Um, you
An
had that
NES
one
game
life,
hard?
yeah,
No, no,
yeah, right.
no.
That one life bar, that character's gone, they're dead, right? And then you could switch to the next one, but you didn't get them until you beat them in their respective stage. So, like when you go to China, the end boss there, I think his name was Chin, and
Ken.
he,
Yeah.
did all sorts of kung fu stuff. You beat him, you got him, you could use him. Same for the when you go to Japan. I can't remember his name, um, but you beat him, you got him, and he was a ninja. And so he had a
Obi.
sword. His punch, where Billy, Jimmy, and Chin would do punching with one of the buttons, this dude would pull out a sword, and just slice you up. So he was mean. Yeah. And each one also had they came with a weapon that you could use, and it only had so many charges.
Mm.
So you could be barehanded or you could use the weapon. And Billy and Jimmy had nunchucks. Chen had I guess like a shredder claw that he could use, and the ninja had throwing stars. Up, he's looking things up.
Now,
But
would that be where maybe they come up with the weapons in the animated series? Yes, there was an animated series.
yeah, there was,
Yeah.
which I didn't watch. I know nothing about the
I don't
animated
I
series.
don't know that I think I maybe saw 1, 2 episodes. I don't remember what channel ever showed it. It was one of those that like kind of slipped through the cracks. Like you knew it existed, but you could never find it. I'm trying to see if it
Whoa,
says what channel it aired
dude,
on.
your face just got like super bright.
Who?
Yours.
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, it's
He's
There it
very
is
probably
again.
yeah, it's because I'm loading up a white screen.
oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say. No wonder you're wearing shades. It's blinding.
It's because I'm one step away from starting a street fight marathon.
Exactly.
he's so bright his mama had to call him son.
Let's see here. I'm trying to like my
So you're gonna
gut
step
wants to
outside
say
tomorrow and be like, "I'm bad," and just start whooping people.
okay, so yeah, the tie-in video game was Double Dragon 5: The Shadow Falls.
It was a
And
fighting game.
it was a fighting game, and
It was.
I do
Go ahead, sorry.
remember the action figure line for it having like
Oh yeah,
crazy weapons and all that.
and they would do the sock. They would do the kicks.
Yeah.
Kung Fu action grip.
Yeah, you could do the thing, and they're like the lower portion of their torso would spin around.
Yeah, it's not jumping out at me. I was trying to find what network may have like I feel like the Double Dragon cartoon would have been like a USA cartoon
I
because
don't
they
know.
would show cartoons, but like they were hard to track down compared to some of the other like time slotted, Saturday morning or afternoon after school cartoons. Because I think like USA, I think they even had the Street Fighter cartoon, and that one again was just like I don't know. It's like their scheduling was all over the place. You could never catch them as I remember it. You're looking now too, aren't you?
I am original network.
And I may
Says
be wrong.
syndication. Uh,
So it just says distributor.
2 seasons, 26 episodes.
Wait. Original channel, first run syndication might be USA. USA Network. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. I had a feeling it was that one because it was one of those. I wanted to watch it, and yeah, just never could catch it. And I know the Street Fighter cartoon was that way, and even there was a Mortal Kombat cartoon as well, I think, and I think it also fell into that same kind of category.
I do remember a Mortal Kombat series that came out not long after the movie called Mortal Kombat Conquest. And it was about, it was set in the timeline of the original Kung Lao that beat, I think hell, I can't remember who he beat, but might have been Shang Tsung, but won the Mortal Kombat tournament and helped save Earthrealm before Goro came along and beat the holy living hell out of Kung Lao.
Yeah.
But it's set around the original Kung Lao and Liu Kang's ancestor, Kung Lao.
Now this one is it's Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm.
I remember hearing about it, but I don't remember seeing it.
Again, it's another USA one. They were awful. They had like I said, they had several that I wanted to watch, but they were awful about scheduling it.
Here's the thing. This is what I noticed about USAA and its cartoons. If a cartoon went to USAA, not USA, but USA. Sorry,
I mean, that's the problem. You got an insurance company,
and a network channel going nuts. If it went to USA, that's where cartoon series went to die.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you'd wake up on a Saturday morning, you had your main networks, Fox 43 and all that. But I just don't remember USA showing cartoons in the morning. And then you get home at work. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but these were shows I wanted to watch, and I couldn't find them.
I do remember a block of TV time USA had set aside called the USA Cartoon Express.
I
and
don't
they would
recall
show cartoons like Grape Ape, Jabberjaw, Biscuits, Shirt Tails.
What did you say?
The Grape Ape. Don't you remember Grape Ape? What did it sound like I said?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Grape Ape.
Don't do it.
What did it? I have to know. I have to know. What did it sound like I said?
I just said drop the G. Are you still not getting it? Really?
Yeah, no, I'm getting it.
Just let it lie there.
I'm getting it.
Lie there.
I'm getting it.
Just walk away. Just walk away.
I'm pretty sure there's a few of those walking around somewhere too. Oh man.
Was it one of those things you get to fight? Double Dragon.
Double Dragon, yeah. Final boss.
In some of those later games, I could see that. This mystical, magical. Never mind.
Mystical, magical.
It comes out. And it's
Grape Ape.
You're just making it worse.
It's purple.
You're making it worse.
the ape of grape.
And it's like made of like purple energy. It's this big purple energy.
We are talking about a grape ape, right?
Yes, it's a giant grape ape.
Giant grape ape.
Yeah. For those that can hear.
Grape ape.
Correctly.
Anyway, well, neither one of you can hear correctly.
Even I heard you say the grape ape.
It slipped by because I was like, wait, what?
Oh, I know what's on your mind. Anyway,
That's terrible.
Yes, that
We choose
yes,
violence.
We choose
that
violence.
is
What does Lazy
exactly
choose to do tomorrow?
that is exactly what what's on my mind is a big purple
You know what?
you know
After this conversation, I'm of the mindset that at the start of Double Dragon 2, she came running out of that garage, saw them standing there, and went, "Shoot me! They're too violent!" and put her out of her misery.
Yeah.
well, I mean, meth fueled rage monster, or well, two of them, I guess.
Meth fueled rage monster, the grape ape.
I
But
remember watching that show. I remember watching Hong Kong Phooey too. I
I do
love
remember
those
Hong
cartoons.
Kong
Hong
Phooey.
Kong Phooey, the Grape Ape. What was another one that came on about the
Magilla
same, at the
Gorilla.
same time? Yeah. Yep.
Hong Kong Phooey, he was voiced by Scatman Crothers, who was also the voice for Jazz in the 1980s Transformers. So
Before
there's that.
before
Well, there's that.
before the movie.
Before the movie,
Yeah.
before he was ripped in half in a live action movie.
Yeah.
Jazz lived through the 1986 Hasbro toy commercial where they killed off the previous toy line only to introduce their new toy line. He lived through that only to be torn in half in a live action movie.
And then just disappeared
Yeah.
in the cartoon series after. I mean, at least he didn't, go out like Ironhide and
Ratchet.
Ratchet.
I mean, they all had better. Both of them had better deaths in the '86 animated movie than they did in the live action.
Well, no, that's true.
I mean, Ratchet and Ironhide went out at the same time in the animated movie.
Yeah.
Poor guys.
I know. The entire.
Hey, we gotta sell more toys. Gotta sell
Boy,
more toys.
They really screwed the pooch and jumped the shark on that one. Anyway.
Yeah. Don't care for 86.
It's a good movie. It is. But
there's some sore spot. No, I get it. There's some sore spots that
this could be its own thing, quite honestly.
It would be. We will down the road. I feel like it's aged better than how we perceived it as children.
Right.
And to go back and watch it through the lens of just wanting some good old fashioned 80s nostalgia, it's a blast.
They have no
but there's some sore
idea
spots.
What they did at that time frame. They had no clue the popularity on some of them characters, especially the one main one. But anyhow,
I mean, I think even the Goldbergs had a brief reference to the 86 movie and the death of Optimus Prime.
It was just
shattering. In fact, look it up. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I'll have to do that.
You have to go check that out. Even the Goldbergs tackle that.
But when it comes to Double Dragon, it had its three main games. Of course, it had Super Double Dragon on the Super. It came out in multiple different platforms. Game Boy Advance had an actual, honest to God, true to form port of the arcade. It had the arcade graphics, the arcade moveset. I think it had a few other things added to it. But they've also appeared in other media.
Mm-hmm.
And the big one that is out there, of course, is Double Dragon and Battletoads.
Oh, yeah.
When you're just feeling like torturing yourself.
Yeah, play some Battletoads.
Yeah, just play that. I mean, Battletoads was hard. Double Dragon was hard. Put them together. You get about
Why
impossible.
not?
You know.
Oh man.
Other appearances. They were in Super Spike Volleyball. Billy and Jimmy Lee are playable characters. The volleyball team in Super Spike Volleyball for the NES. Um, WWF Superstars, the arcade version, has Billy appearing as one of the spectators.
Hmm.
Right? River City Ransom, the theme music can actually be heard playing in the background on one of the stages.
Okay.
Kind of nuts there. Of course, there's Battletoads, Double Dragon. I'm not sure what Rage of the Dragons is. This was a Neo Geo thing.
Okay. Getting a little more off the beaten path on that one.
Yeah. So I mean, there's quite a few on that, but I think the biggest and most main one that everyone really knows about would be Battletoads and Double Dragon, and they had that on NES. I want to think they had a Super NES version as well.
Okay.
So that was out there, and
You know, missed opportunity, and Nintendo did well with the Smash series in its current form. Missed opportunity. Why don't we put them in?
put them in Super Smash Brothers.
I mean, we got most of the other, like classic key Nintendo franchise characters. Um, I feel like it was missed opportunity not getting them and Bomberman.
Bomberman would be real good to fit in there.
Yeah. I mean, again, I know it's one of those, you can't get everybody, and but I don't know. I think it'd have been worth the legwork to have got them in, um, especially in light of 4,000 Fire Emblem characters. Gosh. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I like the Fire Emblem series of games, but like the way they kept tossing them in, it was like half the damn roster.
I hadn't played a single one of them.
They're a good game. It's a good strategy game. If you ever get a chance to pick one of the 100,000 of them,
Yeah.
but it's the top. It's kind of a, I guess, sort of a rock paper scissors style formula, just with a lot more um, options.
Is it a human version of Pokemon?
No. So like you'd have like an infantry guy, an infantry against infantry, or we'll say like a sword guy, and I'm using horrible descriptions here because honestly, it's been a while since I played one. But you got like a sword guy versus sword guy, and they kind of cancel each other out, but they'll still do some damage. And you got the sword guy, and you have like cavalry, and a guy with a spear, and then he'll just gets all this extra damage on the sword guy.
Pulverize the sword.
And
Dude.
then you might have like a magic guy, and you've got archers, and it gets pretty deep. But yeah, it's kind of like a rock paper scissors formula, just with more than rock paper and scissors. But they're not bad games. They're good games. I just feel like Nintendo overkilled that with the Smash series. Over 70 or so. I've lost count now. When with the final count for Smash, but yeah, every time they bring out a Fire Emblem character, I'm like, we're good, guys. We're good.
Just no more, please.
Oh yeah, especially when you're leaving other, to me, more important Nintendo characters or other things from the the Nintendo Vault library, whatever you want to call it, on the table. So
At this point, they put Simon in it. They put Mega Man in it. They've put Link in it. I think they've put Kirby in it.
mm-hmm.
Samus is in it. Mario, Luigi, Icarus or
Yep.
Pit, should I say? Not Icarus, because the game was called Kid Icarus, but that's not what the character's name was. The character's name is Pit.
I will always call him Kid Icarus,
He'll always be
He is.
Kid Icarus to me.
He's Kid Icarus.
especially from Captain N and the Game Master.
He ended every sentence with Icus or Icarus. And then Mega Man accented a lot of his words with mega. That was mega powerful.
And you know, the way they, of course, I guess you could say the same for most of the characters in it. I never connected that as Mega Man early on because I felt like he looked so different than the Mega Man from the games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was short, stubby, green,
Yeah.
blue.
It's
Mega
like
Man's called the Blue Bomber, not the Green
was he?
Turd.
It's like was he stuck in? Well, I mean, I pulled up a screenshot here, and yeah, it's like, did he get stuck in the form? With one of his weapons from a boss he'd already killed.
He got stuck in the form of using Goober Man's weapon
But
and got stuck that way.
fussing about Mega Man, and it's like, well, but then you look at Simon, and it's just like,
Yeah.
Whatever. It was the 80s.
I see. Even as a kid, I sat there and looked at that show like, what the heck are they doing? They look nothing like their counterparts that I'm used to.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah,
And
I'm looking
I don't understand what they were really thinking with that.
I mean, I love the premise of it. I mean, at least Link looked all right.
I want to think the Link that they had in Captain N was actually the same
From
animation they used for the
Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah. They actually kept him kind of true to form, but the rest of it, I mean, my lord. Oh, that and King Hippo. King Hippo looked all right.
Yeah.
He looked a little palish, but he looked all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking through the screenshots now. Yeah, that's one I hadn't revisited in a long time.
Main villain Mother Brain.
Who did not? I know. Preaching to the choir here.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know, but that was that era of like, hey, we got the rights for something.
Fuck it up.
Now that we got it, why do we need to pay attention to this other stuff? Hell with that. Let's make shit up as we go.
Let's make it look different too. What's that little green stubby short fucker? That's Mega Man. That's who that is. What? Okay. Anyway.
Like, how the hell am I supposed to get Mega Man from that?
It's not a green turd. It's Mega Man.
There you go.
It's not a green turd. It's Mega Man.
Not a green turd for Mega Man. Well, it's already been done, but if you want to, sure. Here, hang on a second.
So you better like and subscribe. If you don't, I will hunt you down. If I don't come to the house, you need some milk. So like and subscribe.
JJ's going to be one of the guys. He's going to be one of the double dragons. He's going to come out and just start punching and kicking down the street. Come to your house, punching and kicking.
With a giant, 30-ounce glass mug of milk.
Yes.
Right? Blah! Milk everywhere. So yeah, there's. So he has spoken. He loves to do his little part in that. Kind of where to go with that.
The thought just occurred to me. So, kind of hopping back to Battletoads Double Dragon. I only played it in recent years, because I dodged it. When it on the initial release, because I saw the Battletoads in the title, and my PTSD kicked in from the original Battletoads. I'm just like, why the hell would I want to subject myself
to this?
So I did play it, and it didn't feel like the Double Dragon part of it didn't feel like Double Dragon. And, what little I played of it, I was like, I still feel like I'm playing a Battletoads, which in my mind had awful controls. And I got nowhere. I got frustrated. I knew I would. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm out.
I know it has a lot of accolades from a lot of people, a lot of gamers. They pretty much look at it as like it's one of the end all be all games and titles that are out there that help make the industry. But when I first saw Battletoads, I thought to myself, I'm not too interested in fighting frogs.
Well,
I
we were
never
used
really,
to Ninja Turtles.
yeah, we were used to turtles. I mean,
And I
we
guess
had
the only lure on that is based on the premise of, well, they're frogs and they're fighting. I like
right.
turtles that fight, so
Might as well just stick with what I got.
yeah.
Because Ninja Turtles has frogs in it too.
Yep.
And then I never gave it the chance. I never played it. And so when they brought it over to Double Dragon, I'm like, why are they taking Double Dragon and crossing it with this?
Because post-apocalyptic Double Dragon needs
Some Battletoads.
alien frogs from somewhere. I don't know. They were probably high.
That's
I wasn't
why
sure
I
why they were
said
doing
that they
that.
were probably
Meth.
out on meth or something.
Oh, I'm talking about the developers. I don't know. I do remember, renting the original Battletoads, and it's one of the few games where after I gave it a few minutes and gave it a little bit of a shot, that I had that horrible, awful feeling in my stomach where I'm like, shit,
That feeling of dread.
I have blown my rental for this weekend, and now I have to get through another week of school
Before I can get something good.
before I can get something good. I have blew it. I've lost the shuffle. Yeah, no, I just, like, we joke about it and all that, and say we want to subject, younger gamers to it. But I'm really not a big Battletoads guy.
I hadn't either. I never was either. Just never really appealed to me at all. But I mean, other things that kind of like didn't appeal to me. I guess. I mean, even just going back to the original series, as I recall, like the first NES title had that issue where you had to level the things up to get your moves. And then I also remember Double Dragon 2. We've kind of screwed its controls up a little bit, depending on the way you were facing. So, like on your NES controller, your B is on the left and your A is on the right. Well, if your guy's facing to the right, A button was punching and B button would do kicking, and it would only kick behind him. And then if you were facing left, now B button is your punching and A button is your kicking, and it still only kicks behind him.
Oh yeah.
So essentially, if you wanted to attack to the right, you pushed A. If you wanted to attack to the left, you pushed B. It wasn't one was punch, one was kick. It was right attack, left attack. And that kind of was weird and wonky and threw me off quite a bit. But then Double Dragon 3 put it back to the way it was, gave you all your move sets, and I think that's what made it kind of like my favorite, even though it was hard as balls. So yeah. It had its quirks.
Yeah.
They all did.
That was part of it. I mean, there's a lot of experimenting, a lot of trial and error. I mean, I get that's part of that era, that we're so, glued
Yeah.
to and have that attraction to. And some stuff worked, some stuff didn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff is held. A lot of stuff, as they figured it out, a lot of stuff still holds to this day. So
Yeah. And there's one Double Dragon I've not played. They actually have a Double Dragon 4. And it was released in 2017
I've seen that one. I hadn't played it either.
with the original NES graphics.
Yep. But yeah, that's the one I've seen it, but never hadn't got around to actually giving it a shot.
I mean, they got it on sale right now on the Game Pass. I thought about looking at it and getting it. I don't know.
On sale, or is it just on Game Pass? Because if it's on Game Pass, you ain't got to just download it.
Oh, it's on sale. What they do have on Game Pass, though, is Double Dragon Neon.
Oh, okay.
And that is like a beautifully done homage to Double Dragon. It kind of like parodies itself,
Mm-hmm.
pokes at it a little bit. It's like super 80s-ish. And the main villain is a character named Skullmageddon, who is very much like Skeletor.
Nice.
From He-Man. They even found the voice actor that can mimic Alan Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And he sounds like Skeletor in a way from He-Man.
Does he call everybody a boob?
Boob, no, but he does come up with some nice, colorful names. So it's like they were trading, like Billy was trading dialogue with him on something. You'll never get away with it, Skullmageddon, or something to that effect. He's like, shut up, butt tart. And he just, what are those deals?
Oh,
It was, I laughed.
The era of insults.
And the thing is when I played through it again, that insult changed. He had another name.
Really?
That he called him. So yeah, it kind of like spins him around, changes it out. So it was pretty good. But yeah, I do recommend Double Dragon Neon if you've not played it.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
I need to give it a shot then.
And it does have a 2-player mode, which you can do online. And I think Double Dragon 4 did as well, which I've not played though. So
yeah, if it's on sale, may pick it up then.
Yeah, after the defeat of the Black Warriors in Double Dragon 2, Billy and Jimmy Lee looked to spread their martial art by establishing dojos around the country. However, they soon face a new threat in a gang called the Renegades, who have teamed up with the Black Warriors to put an end to Billy and Jimmy once and for all.
Let's open up some dojos and inspire more people to go out and be assholes.
Do violence, incite violence. You know what? We're going to call our dojo Cobra Kai.
And thus, the beginnings
of the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Oh. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
This one sounds like they don't even have Double Dragon 3 happening at all.
Some of them do. They like to retcon.
Well, I mean, Double Dragon 3 was a bit out there with its mysticism. I mean, sacred stones, fighting a resurrected Cleopatra who could shoot beams of energy from her hands, and it was,
You sure it was from her hands?
It was from her hands. Grape ape.
Grape ape. Grape ape.
Chicken wing. That boy.
It was random.
So, all right.
Not a whole heck of a lot to say, I guess, about Double Dragon, but we chose it because it's a nice spin-off of The Wizard. It was featured in The Wizard a lot. I can tell you, I can get 50,000 in Double Dragon. it's really
you can beat Jimmy.
I could beat Jimmy. It's really not all it's cracked up to be, but one game that is probably even more difficult than Double Dragon that appeared in the Wizard would have to be this one.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, good times
I-
there.
that was one of my more favorite games right there.
I could get very far in this game. Like for the longest, I would get so far and then just fizzle out there at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, heck, the last boss fight. Good Lord,
It was 3-1.
3-1.
You,
And
you
if
go
you
through,
and if you jacked up, if you lost,
yep,
punt.
right back to the start of it.
Yeah. Talk about no mercy.
And you lost any power ups you had.
And man, if you lost the one, that was kind of your game changer.
Mm,
You might as well just reset.
just start over.
Yep. So.
Went through it all
Yeah.
again.
Not really. I mean, of course, heck, we've gone over an hour, which is good. That's kind of seems to be our norm. We're making it. Hadn't had too many tangents tonight, not compared to some other episodes. So,
We had some,
minor,
I guess, minor tangents.
minor tangents.
Here or there.
But I mean, honestly, I mean, it's kind of we're just geeks talking. We may start off with a theme, but honestly I don't mind tangents too much, especially when we naturally arrive there, and it sparks conversation, and that's that's the point of the show. So it's not an issue to me. I don't care. So next week or 2 weeks from now, depending, switch back to a movie.
What movie? Well, that's a good question.
What are we leaning towards? What do we want to hit?
I mean, I guess it is something we can discuss throughout the week and try to toss some ideas around.
I mean, I will say that presently, if we wanted to look at some other, nostalgia, older, Xbox is running a sale on some pretty old stuff. So if there's anything in that list, you wouldn't be out much money to buy it and rewatch it, as we refresh. Let's see here. Let's see if I can pull it up, if I can find it. And I'll see. I'll tell you. I know I did pick up Big Trouble in Little China.
That'd be a good one.
I picked that one up pretty cheap.
But on back in 5 minutes, call the president.
Here we go. Sales and specials. So let's see. That's really random. Friday the 13th, Part 3. Like normally they just go ahead and sell all of them, but for whatever reason they've just chose Friday the 13th, Part 3. Just Part 3.
Just that one.
Yeah, that's unusual. Anyway, which something to think about heading towards what will be the theme for October. Monster Squad is currently on sale for $2.99.
Wolfman's got nards.
So there's a thought for you. Yeah, Monster Squad is on sale. Like I said, I'm showing it at $299. It may be different on the console depending on which version. But that is all I'm showing. There may be more that shows on the console. I know I picked up Big Trouble in Little China pretty cheap. So
I
Yeah.
think I got that on DVD in there. Yeah, I still have DVDs.
that's all right. So yeah, we'll discuss it. We will go back to a movie. Like I said, next week or the week after. Just kind of depending on how the week goes. We're still kind of playing it a little bit by ear. And yeah, we will. I can't make a formal announcement directly through YouTube. I mean, I can maybe do a short video and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. But unfortunately, we've not unlocked the stuff to have better messaging and kind of heads up. And Twitter's pretty well. I'm just shouting into the void, or I feel like I might as well be shouting into the void.
In
So
due time, I guess.
yeah, for the most part, it'll pretty well just be shortly before we go live. We'll say what it's going to be, but yeah, we got some stuff to think about. Movie episode next week. Anything else in Double Dragon?
Good to go.
Just remember, sometimes you just got to run out into the street
And incite violence.
beat up people, including purple-haired hookers.
With purple suits and whips.
Spandex bodysuits.
I'm telling you, man, something. I don't know what happened to the world
Named
in
Linda.
Double Dragon.
Well, I know what happened.
Meth.
And it's actually, I think they were, honest to goodness, I think they were telling like, the future.
Well,
'Cause there's an awful lot of purple-haired people running around these days. So
I'm not one of them.
man,
So.
just kind of, man, I'm noticing some similarities.
just putting it out there.
Right.
Next thing you know, we're going to be linking up with these toads from outer space and just beating up people.
See how far we can get.
Toads
well.
from outer space.
You can only go one direction.
But yeah, I was going to say, you can only go one direction.
You can't go back.
Nope.
Just keep going straight.
The big neon arrow is pointing you in the right direction. Say, move it.
It's usually like a hand that does like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think there was one that was a thumb doing this.
Yep.
Oh, Final Fight was notorious for that. Blimp, blimp, blimp.
you're standing there. Move. Go beat somebody.
Right. Go do more violence.
So, all right. Well, good deal. That is all I've got for Double Dragon. Anybody else?
That's all I got.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
W's.
All right. That's a wrap.
Yep. Peace.
Later.